ever, Kiki. Are you ready to fucking rumble?
Let's go.
Hey, I'm Kyndal.
I'm Sophie.
And this is
Is
Not That Serious. Welcome to the
Hey.
show for the very first time.
So excited to be here.
Sophie lives with me.
I literally live here. The amount of times that I have walked in and been like, Kyndal, I'm so sorry. You are literally recording and I'm getting off work and walking in the door.
It's part of it. No, it's part of living with a content creator. I apologize, actually.
No, you don't. Because it's awesome and fun and I love it.
I can't be sorry. How are you? How was work, actually? Because I never got to ask you technically.
Work was actually good today. It went by quickly. Sometimes it goes by slow. Today it went by quick.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
How was
really
your
good.
day?
It was good. It was, it was a day.
Yep.
Yeah, one of those.
Wednesday, middle of the week. Let's
Oh
go.
my God. People were saying, I wonder if people are going to know what day I'm talking about once this is uploaded, but today was the Thursday-ish Wednesday
Yes.
I've ever felt in my life. Like, today should have been Thursday.
It really should have. And I felt like that last week too. Days of the week all kind of run together at this point.
You said it yesterday, and I was like, absolutely. You were like, the days are long, but the year goes by like that.
Yep.
And I was like, yeah.
Yep.
Because I can't believe we're already in March, but the days
Are so slow.
every day I wake up and I'm like,
Every day I wake up.
another fucking day.
Another day. Another
Jesus.
$1.
Another
Sometimes.
another day, another nickel. What is it? Is that Squidward or Mr. Krabs? Who said that? Or maybe it was SpongeBob. No, it was Squidward. I think
it was Squidward.
Another day, another nickel. Guys, today we're doing something a little different. This show is not that fucking serious, so we're gonna talk about not that serious shit. Today we're talking all things music, like I feel like we could have gone deep into like the music industry and like chit chat about that, but we're not going that route today. I'll maybe cover that another day. Today we're just talking like our faves.
Yes.
I think,
And they're so beautifully subjective.
We have to talk about the origin of where this whole theme of the show came from.
Yes.
But before we get into it, question of the week: what pissed you off on the internet?
Okay. So I sent you this maybe like a week or so ago. So maybe I'm a little bit maybe not this week, but it's in the time frame.
Yeah.
So somebody reposted the Ed Sheeran chicken shop date.
Oh, okay.
And mind you, I did my research. This came out in 2021.
Okay.
So it was like a minute ago.
Okay.
So it resurfaced on my For You page. And everybody in the comments is like, oh my God, Ed Sheeran's so cool. This, that, and the other. For years.
Where was that?
For years, I have had to deal with this Ed slander, and I'm coming clean. I love that man, period.
She
if
said,
that
let's
ages
be
poorly,
real.
then it doesn't. But I love that man, and I'm tired of hiding it.
You're valid.
Thank
You're
you.
valid. My thing is Ed Sheeran will always get a green light, big thumbs up from me from simply just being able to say that he was behind Plus and Multiply alone.
100% agree.
I'm like, you won.
But yeah, so I guess really what the bigger issue there though is the internet loves to just turn on people.
Yeah.
And you never know when, and you never really know who or why.
It just happens.
And it just kind of pissed me off a little bit. I was like, man, I've spent all this time low-key being an Ed Sheeran fan, but on the low.
Yeah.
And then everybody suddenly is like, whoa, he's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Where have y'all been?
Where have y'all been?
Where have y'all been?
I don't know. That one's hard because, I like to say every week, y'all are so fucking annoying. With picking and choosing, who you decide to like and dislike that week. And it really is a week by week basis.
Mm-hmm. And next week they'll be like, the worst. He's the worst. Get him out of here. Okay.
It's so weird because I don't know if you've ever listened. I listen to a lot of interviews with different people and celebrities and creators and stuff. And they all say the same thing about haters is they're like, oh, everybody fucking hates me. It is what it is. And I always think that's so weird because I'm like, I think I heard Emma Chamberlain say it once and I was like, no, girl, everyone loves you. I was like, you've never seen my side of the internet. And I'm always like, wow, wish I could show you my side of the internet. That has nothing to do with anything other than just sometimes I wish I could reach out to celebrities and be like, I wish you saw the tweets about you that I saw.
Right. And really it's all about perspective.
Yeah,
at
for
the end
sure.
of the day.
I feel like every celebrity thinks that they're the most hated celebrity, but I guarantee you there's someone else.
There's always someone else.
There's always someone else. I'm trying to figure out what pissed me off on the internet this week, but genuinely just what pissed me off in life this week is SZA was here literally yesterday and I did not get to see her.
I didn't even know that.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm so
Speaking of music,
I'm so during the weeks. Now it's hard. The what pissed you off on the internet question is hard for me because during the weeks, Kyndal can attest, I'm so
unplugged,
chronically offline because I just can't.
Yeah.
So,
Honestly, I'm kind of jealous.
I catch up on the weekends, but sometimes I'll come home and Kyndal and Riley will be like, so this is happening. And I'm like, wait, pause, go back. I need context.
I'll never forget when the Megan trailer came out and I was like, Sophie, did you see the Megan trailer? And she was like, what the fuck is a Megan? And I was like, okay, great. So it's a doll. But yeah, I'm trying to like figure out like what. Oh, did you see the Family Feud? This is actually so on brand for this episode. Did you see the clip of Family Feud? And it was two families, and the question was like, name a singer that is guaranteed to bring the house down, like singing live. And the first person answered, and they were like, Beyonce. Number 4 on the board out of 7 answers. Yeah. So everybody off the bat was like, Arf? Then
who voted in the survey?
That was no, because the answers ended up being horrendous. Let me read them off in order. Actually, it was so questionable.
Genuinely scared.
You should be. And then you heard the audience literally start to question things and be like,
I said what?
Yeah, no. Like number 7 on the board was Celine Dion. Okay. Number 6, Reba McEntire.
Reba?
Number 5 was Cher.
Okay. I'm with that one a little
Number
bit.
4 was Beyonce.
Way too low.
Number 3 was Carrie Underwood. Number 2, Jennifer Lopez.
Sorry.
And they put Lady Gaga as number 1. Who they asked this question to, I don't
Those answers are all over the board.
Bro, one of the ladies put her hand in. Somebody said Ariana Grande, not on the board. Somebody was like, some idiot said Shakira. I was like, who said Shakira? Who said that? Guys, bring the house down. Power vocalist. Now the first thing that came to my mind, Aretha Franklin. I was like, Aretha Franklin. That was not on the board.
Yeah, and it's like, especially if you're going all time. Like,
yeah. Why was Beyonce number 4?
Why was Beyonce number 4? But also, like, there's so many. Love Carrie Underwood. I have seen her in concert, actually.
Sure, I'm sure she's great.
Why was she there?
Why was she even there?
Like,
so many questions. A big bone to pick with the Family Feud survey. Whoever they had surveyed for that one specifically, because they did not ask enough.
Wrong.
Survey says wrong. Personally, I say that was a fucked up situation.
Agreed.
Moving forward, let's actually talk about artists that deserve our spotlight.
Let's go. Plug. Segue.
I had us like this episode is a little all over the place, but also beautifully organized chaos of like, I was like, let's do top 5 certain things. Right now we're going to go top 5 artists. And I just want to talk about the artists that deserve some spotlight.
That deserve the Family Feud spot.
Yeah.
That bring down the house. For you personally, like, yes. Let me actually disclaim this entirely. This whole episode is an opinion-based show. The show is called Not That Serious.
So please don't take it seriously. If you have a fucking bone to pick with anything we say today, or if you think a different artist or a different album deserve to be spotlighted, I guarantee you to actually ask you to take it up with your local Best Buy, buy a microphone, and put a podcast out yourself, and you can do whatever you want. Now,
truly. Now, my personal disclaimer
what's that?
Is if you want to argue with me about these artists, I am in the market for an enemies to lovers romance.
Oh, that's actually so good.
So come on. DMs are open.
That's so good.
Anyway, don't actually say anything too mean or I will cry.
Yeah.
But you know what? Again,
she's a Cancer,
it's not that
guys.
serious.
She's a cancer. Like, please chill out.
Please
on her.
be kind.
Oh, you should tell people what you're wearing.
Okay, my main thing I have in my closet are like band t-shirts, musician t-shirts.
Yeah, we love it.
Today, I am featuring my In Dolly We Trust
period
t-shirt.
Because in Dolly we do
because
indeed
in
trust.
Dolly we do trust. Love that woman.
Yeah, we do love Dolly actually in this house, 100%.
She is an icon. But yes, shout out to Tina for giving me this shirt.
Shout out
That's
Tina.
my mom.
Shout out Tina.
Shout out Tina. She will never listen to this.
She won't?
I don't think so.
Damn, that's crazy. Shout out to Tina anyway. I do have my Positions hoodie on, and by my, I mean Riley's.
Love.
Yay. Okay, top 5 artists on the board.
Are we going 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
Let's do 5 to 1.
5 to 1.
Your personal top 5 artists of all time.
Of all time. Okay.
Yeah.
My personal top 5. Number 5.
Yeah.
Little Mix.
Wow.
I love them.
I love
Okay,
them.
I want to hear the top 5 and then I want to hear the explanation.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want an explanation now, or do you want me to go through the entire list?
Go through the entire list and then an explanation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Number 4, One Direction. Shockingly, probably low on this list.
Okay, T.
3, Queen.
Okay. Oh.
Love Queen.
T.
2, the Aces. And I could talk about them all day. But
That's
anyway.
T, actually. Okay, and the number 1?
Number 1, Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. That's very
Love.
valid. So run me through why Little Mix.
Okay.
So I know this is personal, so I'm like,
It's
personal.
It's personal.
Yeah.
So I feel like the beginning of my like feminist awakening was Little Mix, which like sounds kind of silly, but
what song do you think?
I mean, Wings started everything.
Valid.
Like 100%. But then, so coming off that album, I listened to that album a lot. Gosh, that was DNA. And that was probably like 2012, 2013 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so that started everything. And then Salute came out. And Salute is like feminist power album. Like, I made my entire personality based off of that album. And that's, I mean, like, and then obviously like the following discography was still important, but that was like foundational. I was like 13 years old and like girl power was the thing. I mean, that was like our generation's like Spice Girls equivalent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, I don't know. I was very
Salute.
Influenced in the girl boss culture. I was
a
indoctrinated
really good,
young.
I was indoctrinated young. Salute was such a good song. Ooh, can you tell me which album Move was on?
Move is also on Salute.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah,
that was my jam.
that song goes so hard.
That song is so
that whole
good.
album, masterpiece. It's great.
Move, man. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
it's a good one. Bring it back, y'all stream.
Y'all
Salute.
bring back stream Salute right now. Bring back Move. Somebody do like a dance routine to it. I need to see that.
That would actually be a great TikTok dance. I'm not a
That's
TikTok
so
dancer,
true.
but someone do it.
You know what? It'll probably pop up in like what 2-3 years.
Well,
They love to resurface the most random fucking shit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we'll get it at some point.
T, and then number 4 was
One Direction.
Yeah, okay. Without saying,
like there's about a million things you could say about One Direction. You know what? I want to take this moment to make a statement.
Yeah. Make your statement.
Why was I bullied so hard for liking One Direction in middle school?
Who bullied you?
And now everybody and their mother loves Harry.
Well, who bullied
Love Harry.
you? Quickly, call him out by name. Government name, quickly.
No, I can't because that's someone who actually kind of has some clout.
Oh, T.
Yeah, like
Oh, T.
yeah, I'll tell you after.
Oh. Bullied though.
Like actually like genuinely bullied.
What was it? Why?
Oh, that music sucks. Your music taste sucks. You suck. Like
Oh,
it was
whatever.
stupid like middle school boy stuff, but it
Right.
was still like music shaming. It was like, "Oh, don't play that girl shit. Like that sucks." And it's like
Okay, valid.
all right.
You also don't listen to good music.
literally, and I was like, I would love for you to play one song for me that I would like.
Middle school boys' music is probably some of the worst fucking taste in music in the world. Like, to date. Like, if you're an artist that makes music and little boys like it, I'm worried. And I hate to say it because, like, middle school, like, they had the worst music taste to known to man, I think, actually.
And it's genuinely true. And again, it's like, and it wasn't just boys. There were girls who were like, you like that stupid boy band?
So,
And that's a whole other tangent.
yeah, it's like, oh, baby, it's internalized misogyny, and that's
100%.
okay.
And those same people like 2-3 years later would be like, yeah, I like them now. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like join the club. Like
Yeah.
I've been here.
It was like, it's almost like you're trying to be a pick-me by being like a cool girl and like not liking
And it
Harry
was like,
and
why?
yeah, it's like, girl, get over yourself. You know you love that man. Like, just
Literally. And like,
come home.
We can all admit it.
Come
like,
home.
And we can all enjoy it together.
Exactly.
Have a little moment.
I feel bad for the middle school girlies that like refuse to admit that they liked certain things. And I'll be real and say that I was that, but for Taylor Swift.
I also
Yep.
had my Taylor Swift hating moment
Yep.
at around that time.
Because it was cool to
Because
hate.
it was the era swap. Or genre swap.
Oh, yes.
So
That's
she
fair.
went from like
country girly.
country girly to like dominate the pop charts. And it was kind of like you were either on that train or you were way off of it.
See,
So-
and
so
I never really fucked with Taylor Swift and like growing up.
I did.
So I had to go back, and I've issued my apology to Taylor. I have. So the rest of y'all, come home. Get rid of that internalized misogyny and come back home.
Or just be indifferent if you're indifferent and don't like don't talk about it. Like,
yeah, it's fine.
you don't have to hate on somebody for liking something. And that's just always anytime.
No, that's 100% true. Unless it's really bad.
That's true. Anyway, contradicting myself.
I love being a walking contradiction. Okay, so number
3 is Queen.
Okay, yeah. So to explain this one kind of threw me off a little bit.
So
I wasn't expecting this.
Grew up listening to Queen. That was like in my mom's car. Like, and that's the same with Fleetwood Mac, which is my number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up listening to like Bicycle and all. I mean, obviously all the classics like We Are the Champions. You could go deep into the discography. I fell in love with that. So it was one of those things where it was like, okay, that's your parents' music taste, and then Bohemian Rhapsody came out, and then it became my music taste, like 100%. Like I was like, I loved this as a kid, love it now. I'm back. We're sat.
We're sat.
Listen, Queen's like discography is kind of insane. Like when I look at, so like when Bohemian Rhapsody did come out, I had a friend that was obsessed with Queen. So I was like almost subjected to listening to Queen at all times, but I never really could complain because it was like,
it's good music.
Even the deeper cuts. Music. Like, have you ever heard Cool Cat?
I have heard Cool Cat.
I love that song. Maybe that's not a deep cut. So like nobody say anything to me at all.
What's a deep cut to someone may not be a deep cut to someone else, and that's just
absolutely. It's just not like I mean I don't know if it's on the greatest hits by any means.
I don't know, but no, that song is.
But I love that song.
It's good. It's good music.
It is good music.
Yeah, and like that's what this episode is all about.
Good music.
But
what is that? Sounds Good, Feels Good. That's the name of the episode.
The album, 5 Seconds of Summer, right?
Yeah,
that's yeah.
Love
Sounds
a good reference.
Feels good.
Sounds good, feels good. Anyway,
2 is the Aces.
2 is the Aces.
Now, y'all, I will stand on a soapbox for the Aces any day.
I feel like this might be an artist that a lot of people listening to the show might not know about, unless I don't know my audience whatsoever. In that case, I'm so sorry.
And in that case, I would love to make an introduction.
Yes,
the Aces are a queer girl band. They're very like indie pop sound. Incredible. If you're into that at all, if you're into like indie pop music in any way or pop music in general, or you want to support the queer community, because you always should do that.
Yeah.
Go stream the Aces. Go stream Under My Influence was their last album, but they have new music coming out in June that I'm very excited for.
I do really like that Daydream song.
Daydream.
I love that song.
If you listen to one song,
that's the one.
Daydream by the Aces.
Daydream by the Aces. I have that one.
It's a good song.
It's a good one. No.
But yeah, so they like very quickly took over my discography, like my like music that I listened to. I saw they opened for 5 Seconds of Summer in 2018.
Oh, did they?
They did. And that's when I like heard them and I was like, these girls are really good. And so I was like, let me go home and like type into my little Spotify search bar and be like, hello. Listen to everything they had out at that point. Follow them on social media, and like it was just a wrap from there.
Period.
And like honestly, you'd be surprised how many artists in my like Spotify liked songs I've gotten from just like opening acts. Even if I don't listen to like a lot of them, there's been a couple of people where I'm like, I liked them. Yeah. I liked that song. Let's keep that in the pipeline.
Yeah, keep it in the run up.
Right.
Said, they're really good.
They're really good.
I love that.
And then number 1 is Fleetwood Mac.
Yes, and I'm sure that's personal.
So personal. There's so much to say, but I'm just gonna let y'all know.
Which album of Fleetwood Mac's is your favorite?
That's on my
Oh, okay. No spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. I will say, while we're on the Fleetwood Mac subject right now, I want to talk about Daisy Jones and the Six briefly.
Oh, give it
just briefly.
Yeah, run into it.
I hope that we get a resurgence of this like Fleetwood Mac 70s like band style sound because of Daisy Jones and the Six.
Bingo. You know, that's a sound that I feel like genuinely has gone missing over time. Like, you know,
where is it?
The people like love to emulate other artists and things like that. So I feel like we hear, I don't want to say carbon copies, but we hear like, you know, different influences of music in newer artists, but we really don't hear that 70s influence as much anymore. That's non-existent.
And it's like,
honestly, unless prove me wrong.
Send me artist recommendations, please. I would love that. I would love nothing more.
Like I feel like the closest, I feel like as mainstream, I'm talking mainstream. The closest like 70s influence that I've heard recently was Harry's newest album. Harry definitely
draws a lot from like more of the male artists of like 70s,
that time.
80s, which is amazing, and I love that. Like that, you can hear that inspiration. I love it. Niall has a few that are very like Fleetwood Mac-esque, I will say. Cross Your Mind is the one that like comes to mind immediately. On the Loose from his first album is very like I'll play it for you after this.
Cross Your Mind.
That's
I
on,
know that one.
It's on his like newer album. But anyway, That album's also Heartbreak Weather, no skips. Anyway,
Period.
me just like plugging all of these things that I've listened to. But yeah, so I really hope that more artists will bring in that sound heavier.
Yeah.
Because I miss it, and I go back to search for these sounds, and I get so nostalgic for a time when I wasn't alive, and I'm like, I wish y'all could just like bring that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And it's not that I like wanted to be alive and like an adult in the 70s. Like it is what it is. I was born now, and I'm happy for like modern technology.
No, love
but
TikTok.
there's a like nostalgia in that sound.
Yeah.
And it's just, touches my soul.
No, you're so right about like there's every time I'm listening to older music, specifically the 80s. Like there's an 80s sound where I'm like dead ass. Wish I was like 19 when in the 80s, like 85, 19. That would be like prime rib.
Prime rib.
Like that's just how I feel.
Yeah.
Like man, to be alive in the 80s and to hear those
the
sounds.
concerts you could have gone to,
dude.
That's what I'm like, there's always like those questions where it's like, if you could go back in time to any like point, I would go back,
right? But then,
I would go specifically back to like certain concerts. Like Live Aid would have been crazy.
Yeah, that would have been cool to see.
And that doesn't
really cool.
affect the timeline, me being there and listening. Like, all right.
That's so interesting too, because I'm like, the question usually is like, if you could go back in time to any decade, where would you go? The first answer is none. The second answer is the 80s. If I absolutely have to go back
at
anywhere,
gunpoint,
the 80s. Yeah, it's like at gunpoint. I'm like, oh my god, put me in like 86, and then that way I can live through like the 90s too, because I would actually go back to the 90s probably, but just for entertainment. 90s entertainment is everything.
All right, Miss Kyndal. I need your top artist.
Okay.
5-1.
I'm so nervous. I have a lot of thoughts. Like that's the problem, is I just have things to say,
and I want to hear them.
My top 5 artists were actually just narrowed down to 3.
3.
And here's why. I could do 4. I am very particular about who I crown as like, yes, you are my favorite artist. Like, because to me, if I'm sitting here, so I'm one of those bitches, unfortunately, where I'm very protective of my artists. If you caught me at the age of 12 and said, I'm a fan of One Direction, I would have looked at you and been like, well, name 5 songs off the most recent album.
You're a man to any girl in a band t-shirt.
That's me. That's me. And so I honestly try to adopt the whole like, I try not to say I'm a fan of anything unless I really know what the fuck I'm talking about. And for me, if you're going to be my favorite artist, I should know damn near every song in your discography, word by word, beat by beat, ad lib included, all of it.
Okay.
And there are only 3 artists, 4. There's technically 4 that I could do that for.
All right. Let's go.
So I'll name 4. Working our way up, Harry Styles.
Love.
Bingo. Sorry. Number 3, Beyonce.
Also love.
Number 2, Megan Thee Stallion. And number 1, who none other than Ariana Grande.
I was going to say it has to be Ariana if
Duh.
she isn't on there already. Like.
Duh. I'm so sorry. Yeah, those are my top 4. I could not do 5 because I was like, I don't have a 5th artist that I'm like, I know every song. Like, and I could do One Direction.
Of course.
No, One Direction is always gonna have a special place in my heart when
but
I think about
the era of One Direction being in the forefront and like actually existing in the mainstream is kind of like over as a collective group.
Yeah, unfortunately, and they're always gonna have a special place in my heart. Like, don't get me wrong, because like
but you gotta focus. You gotta focus your like favorites on like happening now.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
So, and those artists are the people where I'm like, let me play a song. You seen those? Have you ever seen people do the like blindfolded Spotify challenge where they hear the first 3 seconds of a song and they're like, it's this one, it's this one, it's this one?
I think I have, and I think I would be so good at that.
I think so too, but only for my favorites. Well,
see, yeah. I just have like a very broad musical knowledge.
Yeah, same.
And so I feel like it depends on what it is, but like I like to watch the musical like game shows too. I don't know if you've ever seen Don't Forget the Lyrics.
I have a theory because we literally watched the clip
It was like The Voice. I don't know, maybe it was Jimmy Fallon or something, but it was when Ariana was on The Voice, and it was like Blake, Ariana, Kelly, and John, and they were like in the booths or whatever, and they had to sing songs and fill out the lyrics. I was getting so mad at my television because I was like, y'all should know these fucking songs. It was like Shake It Off. They had a Kelly Clarkson song. They had an Ariana Grande song and something else. And I was
They
like,
said, we know our own songs.
They didn't even. Kelly did not know Ariana's song. And I think Ariana was being nice and didn't know Kelly's song. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Now, see, I just like, I wonder what these people do, because in the years that those songs came out, radio was still very, very popular. And it was everywhere. You could not escape probably any of the songs that they were guessing. I haven't seen that clip. If I have, it's been a while.
They couldn't do Shake It Off. That was the crazy part. I was like, no way. No way. Blake had never even heard of the song. Like, he didn't even know how to do the song.
No, that's just not surprising to me.
But yeah, like, I think I would also do really good at the lyric songs too.
I know, and I always watch it and I'm like, you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're wrong.
Maybe that's our next endeavor.
Our next little show that we watch.
Sophie and I like to watch reality TV together.
We love to watch reality TV together.
We just most recently finished, what was the name of that show?
Perfect Match.
Thank God. I'm glad you remembered. A Mess. We should have recapped that before the episode. Perfect Mess.
And I would say, Perfect Mess really encapsulates
that's the
all
show.
Of it.
So if you want to have a conversation about that, hit me and Sophie up. Maybe we'll do a follow-up episode about our reality TV
journey.
excursions.
Oh, that would be really fun.
It'd be just our thoughts, concerns, prayers.
So many thoughts
for the cast of Love Is Blind season 3.
For the cast of Love Is Blind seasons 1, 2, 3, and all future seasons. And also Nick Lachey, Count Your Days.
Nick Lachey, count your days, bro. How do you sleep at night?
Listen, I tweeted this, but I'm gonna say it now. Nick Lachey is a Will Schuester variant.
Yeah.
It's just there's something about his energy.
I had to give you that reaction. Yeah. I was like, I've heard.
I know. You've heard all my jokes because you live with me.
I didn't want to like not say anything. Anyway.
No. Yeah. Anyway.
But he is.
He is. He walks in the room. He's like, "Hi guys," and it's like, "Please,
hi guys,
please stop."
Netflix reality show, Count Your Days. Moving on. Yeah. What's next?
Do you want to go into yours more?
Truthfully,
or do you think because I feel happy with your explanation of like I'm only a fan of like certain.
Yeah, I mean, let's be real here. Like, there's not even much to discuss. Like, Harry and Ari have been like my cousins since the womb. I grew up on Beyonce, and Megan. Well, that's my girl.
Now, y'all. I say this every day. Kyndal is one day closer to meeting Megan Thee Stallion.
I am one day closer
because
every
you can't
night.
be one day further away.
No, man.
I don't say it every day, but I like to give you reminders because I just think it's fun.
Every day I lay my head to rest and I'm like, tomorrow's
the day.
Another day.
Another day closer.
One more day closer. It's like a big, massive countdown. Count your days, Megan, because I'm coming to see you, girl. Hey. Count your days in a good way.
In a good way,
because when we meet, it'll be explosive. Moving on.
I do want to say, though, I think it's wild that Megan Thee Stallion, before she blew up, came to our former college.
Like, let us never forget. And I couldn't get a ticket. Isn't that insane?
That is insane.
Yeah.
I couldn't have gone even if I wanted to.
It's so fucked. I wanted a ticket and everything. That was like the one homecoming performance I was like, I'm going to watch this. And I couldn't get a ticket.
Honestly, that is... it's tragic.
It is tragic
because every other year it was like, who? I mean, they had
Jesse McCartney.
Jesse McCartney. I literally, I left. I came back for Beautiful Soul. I went home.
Bye.
I lived on campus at that point, though.
Oh,
so
okay. No,
it wasn't
that's
like
different.
I drove. Yeah.
Yeah. I have qualms with our. Is it alma mater?
I think it's alma mater.
Yeah, I have qualms with her. I have qualms with
that's
alma
only
mater,
the beginning.
But that's neither here nor there.
That's another story.
Top 5 albums on the board.
Oh,
we asked 100 people.
Okay, now for this one, can we go back and forth?
Yeah.
Do you have 5?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah.
I have like more than 5. I have honorable
mentions too.
Okay, great.
Love.
Okay, great.
Don't be scared.
Because I literally have so many, and I'm like, who do I put as number 5? Like, I didn't number these. Like,
It's
I just
okay.
have them
Just
out.
like, yeah. Okay. Do you want me to go? I have my number.
You go 5. Yeah,
Okay.
you go 5.
My 5 is Young Blood by 5 Seconds of Summer.
Oh,
That album brought me back into the 5 Seconds of Summer.
Teeth on that
fandom.
album?
That's the one after. This is the one that has Young Blood, the song.
Yeah.
Not a lot of them were radio songs, to be honest with you. Yeah, Young Blood was the main, like, they played that one
Yeah, I
on the
remember
radio.
that one.
But the rest of the album, so my journey with 5 Seconds of Summer, you know, they came about, they toured with One Direction. I was very into it. I was like, all right. And then I don't remember what. Sounds Good Feels Good was just not my favorite album. And so I was kind of like, okay, like, I'm not going to, like, stan them. Like, I'll, like, be a casual little fan.
yeah.
And then this album came out in, like, 2017 or something like that. Don't fact check me. I remember I was, like, it might have been 2018. I was in New York for I was visiting my dad and my stepmom. And I was listening to that album on the train, and I was like, this is so good. Why did I, like, stop caring about 5 Seconds of Summer? And that's not to say I didn't, like, re-stan, but I just was like, yeah, I'll listen to them a lot more. And then how many years in a row have they been my number 1 artist on Spotify?
Ooh.
We won't talk about it.
Wait, that's T, actually.
It's like, yeah.
She said, it awoke something in me.
It's that album, and then, like, a lot of the things following that were, like, the things they released following that were really good. Because the album with Teeth was after that, and that was also
I like Teeth
really
a
good.
lot. And then, Sounds Good, Feels Good.
That one was, like,
older.
Yes.
That one has Safety Pin on it.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm like in and out of the 5 Seconds of Summer
right,
situation.
Like, I, like, boop.
Yeah,
Kinda
I'm like,
pop
you know.
But yeah, and I think now my theory is, because every year everyone's like, why is that your number 1? Rain specifically has been like, I'm always surprised that that's your number 1. And I'm like, I think my theory right now is because I have so much of their music in my thing that it gets, like, shuffled in my everyday. And so I think that's why they continue to be my number 1. And then they release new music, and I'm like, oh, well. If One Direction was still releasing new music, believe you me, they would still be number 1.
They would still get my streams. Okay.
All right, number 5, Kyndal.
Number 5. Okay.
You're making me nervous.
Number 5 is going to shake the table a little bit. Just because if you don't know me, you're going to be like, what the fuck? Number 5 is A Fever You Can't Sweat Out by Panic at the Disco.
I feel this is not surprising to me. It's a great album.
Great album.
It's a great album.
It's a great album. And it's their best work.
It was all downhill from there.
It quite literally. it did not get better. Like, Panic, no body of work compared to A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. To me. Like, they had bangers here and there, but once Death of a Bachelor came out, they absolutely just lost me. They lost me.
That's fair.
They lost me so bad. But that's neither here nor there. Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Best Panic album, hands down. If you never heard of it, go listen to it right fucking now. You most certainly have heard of I Write Sins, Not Tragedies.
Everybody has.
Everybody has. Okay.
Close the door, Kyndal.
Not. No. I chime in. No. But I will say, if you like that song, listen to the rest of the album, because the rest of the album is, like, straight bangers, and it's got a similar vibe, but that's not even the best fucking Panic song in the world.
Now,
Let me just be real.
Is 9 in the Afternoon on that album?
9 in the Afternoon is on Pretty Odd.
Oh, okay. So that's after.
9 in the Afternoon is on Pretty Odd, which is a fairly odd album, if you ask me. So, yeah, you know. Panic hasn't done anything since A Fever You Can't Sweat Out. Sorry. Lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off is also a great fucking song.
See, now here's my issue.
Those long ass titles.
Because I'm like, wait, isn't that Fall Out Boy? But it's just because both of them had, like, the longest titles in the universe.
Right.
And they're all, like, they don't particularly make any sense or have anything to do with the song.
That would actually be such a fun game to play, is, like, reading those song titles
Fall Out
out and
Boy
being
or
like,
Panic.
which one is it? Yeah.
I would sweat. That would be a fever I couldn't sweat out.
That's hilarious. I think I would win. I think I could get it. Because I listen to a
Okay.
lot of...
Round
Honestly,
two. Have me back.
Right. From Under the Cork Tree should also be in here. Maybe it's an honorable mention, but From Under the Cork Tree by Fall Out Boy is also one of my favorite albums.
See, Save Rock and Roll for me.
Really? That's a good one, though.
Love that album.
That's a good one.
Love that album.
Okay, number 4 then.
Number 4, Dangerous Woman.
Really?
Uh-huh. I love that album.
That's no, it's her. It's really good.
And I don't even like want to say that it's her best work, but it's my personal favorite.
That's fair.
Like, there's just something about the way those songs were produced. Like, they don't produce things like that
They don't
anymore.
make music like that
And
anymore.
her vocals are so good. The features that she has, I like. And normally,
yeah.
like, that's where I get lost. I'm like, okay, you kind of lose me with the features. The features on that album are great, too.
You know.
I saw that album in concert
Oh.
because Little Mix was opening for her. Talk about, like, most, like, feminist night ever. I was literally just like, wow.
Oh, bitch.
Wow. Victoria Monet was opening, too. It was literally crazy lineup. I will never live it down. I skipped my junior prom to go to that.
Bitch, I would have too.
I was like, yeah, bye. Like,
I would have
Y'all
too.
are going to dance to this, like, awful music that this DJ's playing, and I'm going to watch 3 icons in one night.
Bro, if I had tickets to see Dangerous Woman, I would have also skipped my junior prom. Sorry.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I have to say. It's a great album.
That is a really good album.
Yeah, it's my personal favorite.
Man. Okay. More on personal favorite Ari later because I have tea.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, no, I have tea. But that's a great choice.
Thank you.
It's a good choice.
Thank you.
Number 4 on my top 5 albums in my personal life. Not their best work, but my personal favorite. Take Me Home by One Direction. The deluxe edition. The yearbook edition.
Now listen. My number 3 is a One Direction album.
Period.
I re-listened to all of One Direction's discography in preparation for this episode because
Absolutely.
I was like, I have to, like, obviously one of them is gonna make the list.
Yeah. Which one is it gonna be?
Yeah, and I could go ahead and tell you now, but like,
I'm interested to know which one's your
I
third.
picked Midnight Memories for my number 3. Interesting. I was going by like, how hard am I bopping at work with my little AirPods in?
All right. Little White Lies is on there.
And Little Black Dress.
And
good song.
Wow.
No, yeah. Take Me Home is
Take Me Home.
Now,
Yeah.
I remember when right before that album came out, when everything started leaking.
Man, I do remember that too.
That was a time, and I was being so good, and I was like, I'm not gonna listen to any of the leaks.
No, you can't.
And then I went over to my friend's house, and they were like, I'm gonna play the leaks, and I was like, well, I can't just like shut my ears
for an hour.
I was like, well, I guess it's not gonna hurt if I listen. Kiss You changed my life that day.
Kiss You changed my life. I remember where I was, and I would hear like, oh my gosh, man, I would listen to Nobody Compares. And then this was before they put it on Spotify, but Magic was on YouTube.
And it was those very specific like YouTube lyric videos.
Yes.
Every time. Yes. And the same thing happened with the last like 3 songs that are now on Spotify for Up All Night.
Yeah.
I used to watch like
Na na na.
Na na na.
Period.
I Should Have Kissed You.
Oh,
Another World.
Another
World.
So good. I Should Have Kissed You is so good. Listen, this is for the Direction. If you don't listen,
this is an episode for the Directioners.
Like, if you don't listen to One Direction, like, you might as well just skip the next like 2.5 minutes because we're about to just like go in. I Should Have Kissed You is art.
It is.
It's art.
It's a great. It is like bop and a half. Now,
it's good fucking music.
Now, if we're going like deluxe, like yearbook edition,
yeah, let's get it.
I have a playlist of songs that I would have my first dance to, and Truly Madly Deeply is on that list.
Like,
oh, makes me feel feelings.
Truly Madly Deeply. And you know what I was honestly about to say, and I actually think it's on Midnight Memories, isn't it? Isn't Half a Heart on Midnight Memories?
Half a Heart is on 4, I think.
No way. No, it is.
I will fact check.
Is.
I will fact check.
It is. Damn. That would be a first dance situation for me, even though it's kind of sad. It's a sad song, but I love that song.
No, it is on Midnight Memories.
Oh, see, I know my shit. What are you talking about?
Me being like, this is my favorite album, and then also forgetting the track list.
LOL.
Oh, well.
No, that song's so good. No, Midnight Memories is so valid because when I heard Lil White Lies for the first time, I was like, yo, what is happening to me? Anyway. Oh, well, I technically saw both. I was like, that's the one I saw. And I was like, no, I saw Take Me Home too. Like, I think that's probably why it holds a special place in my heart, because my first One Direction concert was Take Me Home.
Now, I bet that was an insane concert to
Bro,
attend.
they got on the fucking swings, bitch. they got like they had them elevated in the sky at one point, and they were singing like over the arena, and I'll never forget it because I was in the nosebleed, so they came like closer to our section, and I was like Harry is looking at me, yeah, like having a full blown like situation, a wet spot on the floor, if you will. And I was like, Harry's looking at me, bro. Like, he's literally looking at me. And he looked at me again for where we are. I know he saw me. He was like,
and
I remember
he looked
her.
at you again for Love on Tour. You went, right?
I did not go to Love on Tour.
Yeah, you totally did, didn't you?
I went to Where We Are.
No. Like Harry's
Oh!
Yeah. Sorry.
T, the way I'm a fake fan.
No, you're...
I'm a fake fan.
me too, fake fans.
I'm a fake fan. Yes, he did see me again. But at that point, it had been just strictly platonic. We broke up.
Now, my condolences. Word on the street is Niall and I are still together in my head.
Period.
Just kidding, King. I hope you're happy with your lady.
Oh,
anyway,
T. Yeah.
anyway.
No. But like also, like for
also,
sure.
if you're free on Thursday.
Like Niall Horn, if you're free on Thursday, Sophie is also free on Thursday. If you're free on Thursday.
Now, this is something I should not tell the internet.
Oh, so you should speak.
One of my emails at one point was
No.
Sophie Horan and a number after it. And it was still connected to my iCloud until about 2 years ago when Rain pointed out that every time I would like airdrop or whatever, it came up like Sophie Horan. Yeah, so my it was like, so probably like professional things that I had to do too, like work, anything iCloud related. I did go in and change it, so RIP Sophie Horan. But yes,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, it was like.
Now I cannot say I ever did that. However, I did write plenty of my Harry fanfics. That is a episode for another day, unfortunately.
You know what? Yeah. But
like,
no,
I won't get into it.
Since you talked about your concerts, I did go to Up All Night, and I did go to oh my gosh, On the Road Again. So I went first and last.
Okay. You went to On the Road Again. Like,
I went to On the Road Again in New York.
Zayn wasn't there.
Zayn wasn't there.
Wow.
And Drag Me Down had just dropped.
Wow.
And they sang it at the concert.
Man.
Yeah.
What a time to be alive.
2015, man.
What a time to be alive.
That was the beginning of the end.
So did you hear What a Feeling or no?
No.
Made in the AM hadn't come out.
Came out after. Yeah, after my concert.
Bro.
They never performed the Made in the AM songs on tour.
Wow.
Which is truly tragic because What a Feeling. You know what? We were talking about the Fleetwood Mac sound.
That was it.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
That's what. So when I said not their best work, but my favorite.
But your personal favorite.
I'm talking about their best work being Made in the AM.
Oh, and that's 1,000% the truth.
With 4 following very closely
close
behind.
I agree.
So that's my tea, and I'm sticking to it. I'm glad you agree.
I do. And I almost put Made in the AM cannot speak on my list, and then I was like, you know what? No, for the vibes, it has to be Midnight Memories.
No, for sure. So that was your number 3?
That was my number 3.
Ooh, okay. So
and that was like choosing a favorite child.
Exactly. My number 3. I'm gonna get hate for this one. 2020 Experience by Justin Timberlake.
Oh. You know, I've heard so many songs from that album, but I don't think I've ever listened to the entire thing.
You need to listen to it cover to cover.
Okay.
Cover to fucking cover.
Okay.
It is a body of work. That album changed lives.
Now, that's the one with Suit and Tie?
Yes, correct.
And that one is polarizing.
People hate Suit and Tie.
I like Suit and Tie.
Oh, wow.
I know.
She said, I'll say it. I like Suit and Tie.
I do.
Suit and Tie is a good one.
It's a bop.
It's a bop and a half. What can I say?
What else is on the album?
Blue Ocean something people know. TKO.
I have that on my throwback
is
playlist.
On that album.
That's a good song.
Yeah, Mirrors. Mirrors is also on that album. So yes, it is a polarizing album. Well, the radio hits are polarizing.
I think it just depends on like how you feel about Justin Timberlake. I kind of like him.
I fuck with Justin Timberlake.
I kind of like him.
I fuck with Justin Timberlake. I'm so sorry. Let's not discredit Justified and Future Sex Love Sounds. We shouldn't.
There we go.
We shouldn't. We should, however, discard and discredit and get rid of Man in the Woods. That is not a good album. Sorry, Justin. Love you, though.
Listen to that one.
Exactly.
For a reason.
Haters gonna say it's fake. I listened to it. I listened to
Kyndal's been in the trenches for this man.
Listen,
and we never even knew. I never knew.
For 2020 Experience to be as good as a fucking album it was, I was like, surely anything else this man, because I mean, it's not like Justin put out bad fucking music. Like Justin has always put out good music, but 2020 Experience was a fucking 2020
Top
experience. Top fucking tier. And every time I'm on a road trip and I'm like, damn, I got a minute to go, I will put that album on cover to cover, and it gets me to where I need to go fast. So that's my tea.
I love that. Okay.
Number 2 for you?
Plus Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Now that, again, we already talked about, this is what started. Oh, did we talk?
No, we didn't. So this is perfect.
So this album is what
birthed
this episode. Kyndal and I were home. I think it was just the two of us. I don't know.
This was months ago.
This was literally like December, probably, like or May. It was cold. It was cold because I made my little tea, and Kyndal and I start talking about the Plus album by Ed Sheeran, and
top tier album, by the way.
How good of an album it was. We sat here in the living room. We pulled it up on YouTube and we listened through the entire thing, and it holds up.
Like
song after song after song after song, lyrically
so good,
brilliant.
Like,
if you've never listened to You Need Me, I Don't Need You,
you should,
and dissected the lyrics, they say I'm up and coming,
like I'm fucking in an elevator.
Just take a second, let that one sit.
Let it ruminate.
There's also in Wake Me Up, I could do without a tan on my left hand where my fourth finger meets my knuckle.
Are you insane?
This album changed lives.
That album came out when I was in 8th grade.
Yep.
And
I think I was 7th. And I would sit there. I had these big pink headphones. And I would sit there when we would be able to like listen to music on our phones. And I would just
Lego House.
Over and over.
I wonder how weird it is for artists to understand, or like to know, I guess, that you've made an impact on somebody that young. Because like when I think about where I was like mentally and like, how old are you in 8th grade? Like 13, 12? I was like 12 or 13 listening to these like very adult songs, like very well written, beautifully done adult content, but changed my thoughts and perspective on like music. Like single-handedly, that album was so good. And I just wonder if Ed Sheeran knows that he changed a generation of little 8th graders, because a lot of us were listening to Lego House very young.
The A-Team.
Yeah, and the A-Team, like, we knew what the fuck it was about, and we surely didn't.
Right.
Surely fucking didn't, but that's neither here nor there. Great album.
Truly.
Hats off, actually.
It really, like, if you've never listened to it, you should. Even if you are an Ed Sheeran hater, you like, give it a chance. It is a great album.
Bingo.
And on to you, number 2.
And on to me, number 2. This one's really hard. Okay.
Deep breaths.
Number 2. Damn, I just don't know.
Gun to your head.
Oh. Oh my God. Okay, my number 2 album. The fact that I have to give someone a number 1, I think that's what's sending me into a tizzy. Is like, who's my number 1 album?
Don't think about it that way. Just think of like, this is the order you're going to present them, and not necessarily like,
the order of importance.
Yeah,
sure. If
that will make you feel better.
Yeah, I know it would. If I'm not going based on importance for these next 2, just please respect me and my decisions and my peace at this time. Multiply by Ed Sheeran, coming in at number 2.
And you know what? That is an excellent choice. That's also a great album.
How do you pronounce it? Is it
Tenerife?
Thank you.
That's also on my first. That's also on my first dance playlist.
That song is beautiful, and it should have gotten the clout that fucking
Thinking
other song.
Out Loud.
Thank you. That Thinking Out Loud got, because what
Agreed.
Fuck you guys.
But also, don't listen to that one, because I actually might have that. Like,
you're like, sorry.
I'm like, sorry, that's a wrap. Like, y'all wanted to overplay Thinking Out Loud. Y'all don't get Tenerife C. That's for Kyndal and I.
I agree. Y'all overplayed the shit out of Thinking Out Loud. That's fine. We'll take her. We'll also take, while I'm at it, Shirt Sleeves, an underrated bop that a lot of y'all will never tune into or understand like I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel. That's my tea. Y'all are really gonna question my number 1 album. Like, question. Like, you're gonna be like, what the fuck? But I do have honorable mentions.
I do. Okay. My number 1 is Rumors. Fleetwood Mac.
Okay.
And are you a Tango in the Wind person?
Yes!
Tango in the Wind is also excellent.
Yes!
And I sat there going back and forth between them. But for me, Rumors Has Me has to be like the like edition that came out years later that has Silver Springs on
Okay,
it. Because that song is life changing.
I've never heard that song.
Kyndal, it is beautiful.
I'm sure it is. We'll play it directly after this episode.
After this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a Tango in the Night. How did you know?
Because it's also excellent. Are you you give me like, do you like little like Tell Me Lies?
Yes. Little Lies, Seven Wonders.
Seven Wonders. And that the thing about Fleetwood Mac is it was impossible, but I was like, I'm just a rumors girly.
No, that's valid. No,
Dreams,
that's valid.
Rhiannon.
Is that song
Never
Going Back
That's
Again?
That's
on rumors. Yeah, that's a good one.
I love that song.
Did you know that for that song, they were in the studio and they were very particular about the tuning of the instrument they were using, that they had to retune it every 2 minutes?
No.
For the recording of that song. I saw that on Spotify will give you music facts sometimes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it came up on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Spotify music pack. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Now
love
speaking
that.
of Never Going Back Again, I got a TikTok one time of a man playing that on guitar.
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was like,
I should call him.
no. I was like, I'm down. I was like, he would have me.
Yeah, I'm down horrendous.
I'm down horrendous.
I should call him.
The him in my mind would not ever be able to play that on guitar. So
Yeah.
I will not call him.
No, that's fair.
I'll call someone else.
Literally anyone else. This just happened to be my number one.
Let's go.
I'm a lyrical person. You have to understand when you give me lyric genius in music form and it's catchy, I'm gonna worship the ground you walk on. So Taylor Swift, you get my number one vote for folklore. Yeah.
See, I knew you liked it. I didn't know it was like, but that makes sense.
This was hard because I have honorable mentions, obviously.
Do you want to like rapid fire the honorable mentions?
Yeah. Planet Her by Doja Cat.
Mm-hmm.
Positions by Who
Great
None
album.
Else. And Pure Heroine by Lorde.
Ooh.
Also, Norman fucking Rockwell by Lana Del Rey were my honorable mentions.
That's an album that Kyndal said if we ever caught her listening to that she was crying out for help. Those are your words.
It's true.
Those
No,
are your
it's
words.
true. If you ever catch me listening, and not just like one single song off the album, because
Like the
yesterday
whole
I
album.
heard a song and I was like, yeah, I can listen to this. I'm in a good headspace. But if you hear me listening to that album cover to cover, something is horribly wrong. Call my mom. Like, get help. But yeah.
I'll give you my quick honorable
Yeah,
mentions.
what's your honorable mentions?
Sour, Olivia Rodrigo.
That's a good one.
Heartbreak Weather, Niall Horan,
Great
which
one,
I talked about
yeah.
earlier. Get Weird, Little Mix.
Oh, okay.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Tea.
Yeah.
Love those. Oh, man. Okay. So to preface this next section, which we're going to close the show out with, me and Sophie were talking and we're kind of like sitting here and we're like, you know, there's not a lot of modern day artists that would compare to
The greats.
the
so
greats,
to speak.
if you will. And we were like, if we could compare, who would they be? So I've compiled a list of quote unquote the greats, like the big names that are household names, you know of them. You should at least. If you don't, seek help. Get out from under that rock you're living under.
Seek help. Sorry, that one just hit.
Seek help. But we've individually come up with who we think our comparisons are, and we're about to debate.
And
We're
it's
about to have
it's
some
gonna get
feelings.
interesting.
Yeah, we're about to have some feelings. So
Okay.
thoughts? Yeah.
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 Hit me with
Oh.
number one.
Number one was Elton John.
Okay. Now I originally said Harry Styles for this. However,
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this from how will society view these people in like 20 years, and this one is not necessarily like it is a woman. I picked a woman.
Okay.
We're not necessarily gonna see career trajectory. This person has gone from pop music to writing musicals. Miss Sarah Bareilles. I think there's a possibility that we might look back and be like, because Elton John did the same thing, pop hit, pop hit, pop hit, and that's not to say Sarah Bareilles has had her moment, but how many musicals has Elton John written now? He wrote Lion King's music. He wrote music for Aida, I'm pretty sure. Like, I think that is a possibility. Anyway.
That's interesting. And I would have never thought that.
It's kind of a weird take, but I kind of love it.
That is a weird take.
Yeah, because it's not a personality thing at all. It's a strictly like career trajectory and how we will kind of look at that in a few years.
I was thinking more personality. And that led me to kind of be like, damn, I don't know if there is an Elton John of our time.
Right, which is hard. And like
It
that's
is really
half
hard.
of these, and some of these I didn't have answers for because I was like, well, I just can't speak on that. I just don't know. But yeah,
some of these also, I will say some of the talent that I would have nominated is almost too fresh to tell.
We need time. They need to marinate a little bit.
And I cannot speak on it because if I get attacked on Twitter, I won't recover. So we're going to just hold on this. But yeah, that's okay. The next person was Bowie, and you know how I feel about this.
I know. Go ahead and you start.
I think Harry Styles.
And you know what? After some
Bowie.
deep reflection, not that deep. I agree.
After some deep reflection.
No, okay, so I thought about it more, and I was like, if we're thinking like music and acting, that's what Harry's doing right now.
Yeah.
That's like David Bowie's whole thing was like, what is that movie? I cannot think. Labyrinth.
You know I didn't watch it, so.
So that the type of music, the like star power, I agree. I'm with you. I have pivoted.
I just think that, you know.
Yeah.
We're about to get.
This one's going to be interesting, I think.
Who? Oh, wait, who do you have next?
Who do you have next?
Dolly Parton.
I do too.
Okay, who did you say?
From a writing perspective, Taylor Swift. Isn't that interesting? I know. I couldn't think about it. Think about all the songs.
This just destroyed me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no.
Go ahead.
Jolene. Like, I'm thinking about, like.
I Will Always Love You for Whitney. Like.
Yeah.
That, and they're
That's
both,
valid.
They're both from Tennessee.
This is valid. That's so interesting that you said Taylor. You really thought these through.
I thought very hard about this.
You thought these through, because I'm sitting here and I'm like, Taylor, okay.
I told you, I literally like sat at work and I was like, and I just like thought about this for a long time, and I was like, I could be really introspective with this. And some of them I think are great, and then some of them I was like, well, I thought so hard about these other ones that I don't have an answer for some of them.
Right.
As probably this next one.
Prince.
Because we have.
You had a hot take.
I have a hot take.
What was your hot take?
Do you want me to tell my?
Tell your hot take.
No, I think you have to say who you think your Prince is first, and then I'll say who I think. Because it's the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Prince is hard.
Because
when you think about like not only music, but you think about like when I was thinking about it, I was also thinking from like an attitude perspective, like who's embodying this. And I probably shouldn't have thought of it like that. I probably should have thought more like you with like a career trajectory. However,
some of them it goes either way. It just depends.
I did put Bruno Mars.
And here's where the tea is. I personally think that, and this is gonna get me in some hot water. I think that Bruno Mars is the closest we have in modern day to Michael Jackson.
And I thoroughly disagree with this.
And that is okay.
And I can't help but disagree with it
it's okay.
entirely.
They both pull inspiration from James Brown, which I find very interesting.
Sure, yeah.
I think as far as like number ones and like hit maker, like Bruno's got the ones, baby.
Bruno's great, don't get me wrong. I love Bruno Mars.
But I love the Prince comparison because like Short King Nation.
Maybe that was a subconscious thing, because I'm like, Short King Nation is crazy.
No, but it's true.
if we're skipping over Prince and going straight to Michael Jackson, since you did bring him up, I will say that let me be clear and say that I don't think there's a single soul on this earth that could compare to Michael Jackson.
And there's
However,
not.
If Gun Against My Head had to, Beyonce is the closest thing we have to Michael Jackson.
Oh,
sorry.
That's like.
That's
I never would have.
truth.
For some reason, that didn't even cross my mind.
Like, if you think about just star power in general, too, like household names, it's Beyonce, it's Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No,
Beyonce is the celebrities for other celebrities.
I love that answer. Like,
you know
what
I mean?
Yeah,
like
I love that.
She is the moment. Not to mention performance factor, star quality, the vocals, the like being able to dance and sing and do it all, like. Sorry, we're just never seeing anybody like Michael, but we're also never going to see another Beyonce ever the fuck again.
That's true. And when we were talking about like the celebrities that we were, like the musicians we were going to talk about, we were like, we can't really do Beyonce because it's just Beyonce.
Beyonce's in the league of her own.
Beyonce is Beyonce.
Now I have hope, and I had hope and have hope for Chloe Bailey, but I also like don't. She's in her own world. Like, again, like nobody is going to be Beyonce.
True. I have nothing else to say to that.
True.
Nothing else to contribute. Who was
next? Whitney.
I have an interesting take.
Yeah.
Lizzo.
That's a great take.
Mm-hmm. I think dance bops and killer vocals. That's like That's what I associate with like Whitney Houston.
That's a great take that I wouldn't. That's just different. I like that.
Yeah, I feel like.
And you know what? Lizzo does not get enough of credit for being able to sing her ass off.
She is
like
incredible.
Lizzo can sing.
'Cause I Love You.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking of too.
Girl. And like so good. So good. Just like, yeah, I just feel like in the last 2 albums she's created, staying power.
Yeah.
Insane amount of staying power.
For sure. I don't know. I think Lizzo is here to stay. That's a really good one.
Thank you. Who did you say?
Like, no one. Like, again,
no,
and
again,
like, this is
mine
so,
is like this
hard
list isn't
like,
like gun
no.
to my head. Like, if I had to pick somebody that like, most of these I'm like, obviously,
there's like
there
they
is
cannot
nobody,
be replaced, right?
Exactly, we know that. However, I was given a list,
right?
And
like I was told,
and I thought a lot about it.
She said I was told to provide content, and so I did. Next on this list is Stevie Nicks.
Miley.
Valid.
Miley immediately.
No.
She has the vocals and the way that, again, career trajectory. Okay, I think Hannah's the one who told me this, who has been on the pod before. Stevie refused to work with Miley until, like, very, very recently. So their collab was, like, big deal when they did.
Why do you think that was? They refused.
There was something about, like, Stevie was like, you got to find your sound, girl. Like,
that's valid.
I think. And I've never fact-checked this. I was just told this. So.
That's so valid, though.
Isn't that interesting?
And Miley has definitely found her sound.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she needs to stick to it because we don't really have a lot of people that sound like her anymore.
She's coming back into that like 70s, 80s.
She's got her own unique sound.
And all her covers that she's done. So
Man.
good. Have you heard her Metallica cover that she did?
No, I don't think I did.
Nothing Else Matters?
No, I haven't heard that one.
Very good.
I'm really actually excited to see the upcoming artists of the generation just because like I feel like we skipped a little bit, but like the more prominent ones have found their sound or are currently finding it, and we're getting it.
Period.
Madonna. Gaga, obviously.
That's the obvious. And then
Mariah Carey.
We all know.
Who's her
But I feel like I feel like Miss Grande has
made her name for herself.
Deviation from that entirely. I think
I think
not entirely, but like I think the comparisons are harder to make now.
Oh, I would agree. I think also because Ariana makes different music than Mariah does, and a lot of Mariah's music is really like well written, and I still would say that Ari is still working her way into like well written masterpieces. Oh my God, don't come for me, nobody, because I can feel people being like, she writes great. I'm like, I didn't say she doesn't write good music. She's still writing for pop though. Like she's still very much writing like. POV was probably one of her like one of the better songs that I was like, I'm about to lose my marbles. This is a beautifully written song. Yeah, and I mean, obviously she has a couple throughout her discography that are like, these are great. Like Ghostin' is a beautiful song. But yeah, like I think in the future albums we have more like songwriting Ariana to come.
I also think we have more musical theater Ariana to come.
Oh my God, I can't wait for
Ariana Grande write a musical challenge.
Ariana Grande write a fucking musical challenge. I also need her to produce music for a movie again because Charlie's Angels didn't do what I needed it to do. And I need her to go ahead and produce again. Because Kendrick Lamar producing for Black Panther, that also should have been on my honorable mentions. The Black Panther album is easily one of the best albums I've also ever heard, especially for a major motion picture. That's good music. Anyway, chef's kiss. Very well done. Lastly,
can I ask you my question?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your walkout song? Your character's introduced in a movie. What's your walkout song?
Cocky by Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, that's good.
What was yours?
Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
That's a good one. Oh my God, what a good way to end.
I was like a little like button.
Guys, that's the show today. Thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode, make sure you give it a thumbs up or rate it 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or Spotify and leave a review. And honestly, fight with us in the comments because we cannot wait to hear what you have to say. Exactly. Also, tell me your favorite albums because I think that would be great to hear. I would just like to know. Also, share this episode with your fellow music lover friend. Yes. Thanks for coming on the show today, Sophie.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. You know, and again, I have to reiterate because you guys need to make sure you know. All these were opinion based because when you think about it, music is music. It reaches generations and it knows no limits. But also, because it is music and it's all opinionated at the end of the day, it's not that serious. All right, everybody, we're out of here. Bye.
Bye.
I'll sing you a song out of the podcast today while I play the music, and this is all off key. Goodbye. Period.